Hello, Jimmy. This is Dimitris calling from Metal KAOZ in Chicago. How are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
Now, honestly, having to discuss Alcatrazz with you is I'm feeling already better. How about that?
Oh, well, that's great. I'm glad. Where are you
So
located?
I'm in Chicago.
Oh, you are. I'm in Chicago.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah, I'm
Why
in.
we didn't meet in person?
I know we should have had breakfast or lunch or something. It'd have been a lot easier. Um, yeah, I'm in Midlothian, southwest side.
Okay, okay. So I'm more in the west suburbs, but I do remember that you like Greek food. So
Yeah, well, I'm part Greek. My mother was Greek.
there you go. So I'm sure our breakfast will have the flair of Greece. I
Oh
can
man,
guarantee you that.
yeah, yeah. I love. We've been to Greece like three times, and in Warlord, and
Mhm.
oh man. I love it. I just love it. My family over there, there's a museum over there that they had, and my family has, and I've been to that, and I love Greece. I just like the food. I like the people. The
Mm.
gigs are off the hook. The crowds are amazing. So yeah, it's always fun.
Yeah, I kind of feel jealous now, but let's move on with my questions.
Right.
um, okay, so what was the motivation to release Prior Convictions?
Um, well, our newest singer, Giles Lavery, had we got Giles as a vocalist.
Hmm.
It's a kind of he has a history with us because he had been involved with the Graham Bonnet Band as a manager, and then but when we decided to get him as our singer, we had already played about 100 shows with him,
Hmm.
and we thought, well, we got to get it, we got to record him. We need him on a record so people can hear the full spectrum, and so that's what we did. That's what started it. We thought, well, man, let's get Giles on record, and he sings all the original No Parole stuff. He just sings it great. And and then we had some new stuff on there as
Hmm.
well. So that was really the motivation in the beginning for doing it. As we started putting it together, we thought this is fun. Joe Stump loves that early No Parole material, so we really had fun re-recording it, as it turned out. And Giles sang the shit out of it, so it was great. It went really good, so we're happy with it.
So should I guess that Joe likes those stuff, the early stuff, because we had the Ingvi in the first one, right? So he
Yeah,
likes, let's say, the
yes.
challenge
Yeah,
of
he
adding
does.
his own flair, right?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
So how did you guys approach the older material? Did you said, for example, I don't know, boundaries? Let's not go that far. Let's keep the foundations of the song the same. How did you do that?
It's funny. We didn't really talk about it
Hmm.
because we had been playing that material live
Okay.
for, well, I mean, I've been playing it live for 100 years, but Joe and myself and Giles, we had played it live for, gosh, a long time.
Hmm.
And so we didn't overthink it. We
Mm.
didn't want to reinvent anything. We weren't trying to make it like better or different. We just recorded the songs the way they are because I think the arrangements and everything were good to begin with. So we didn't want to mess with it. And Giles loved it the way it is. So and he'd been singing it. So I'd been hearing him, Joe and I'd been hearing him sing those songs for gosh, a year because we've been on the road in
Right.
Europe and the United States with Giles singing. So yeah, we just record it straight up, don't reinvent anything, just record it like it's like the original stuff.
Still, were you not at all tempted to, let me change this keyboard part a little bit. Let me add this one.
Um, maybe here or there,
Mhm.
in passing as I'm playing it, I might think, oh, I should have done this, when I recorded it, but I didn't. So I thought, and when I would fool around and try a different thing, it sounded very foreign to me. It sounded
Mm.
like, oh, that's not right. You know what I mean? Even
Yes.
though it might be an interesting part or a nice part, or it may fit musically, it's I'm so used to hearing those songs the way they are, and I'm happy with the keyboards that I did at the time. So I as a keyboard player, I went, well, if it works, don't fix it, kind of thing, and don't try to be clever, and play something new. So yeah, but I did. I would be playing and just kind of jamming along with it, really, and having fun. And then I would find myself drifting off and doing something different in a part or whatever. But in the end, I just said, no, 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 leave it alone. I liked what I played and I stand by it. So it's just left it alone.
So maybe I should say Jimmy has not improved as a keyboard player. Hold on. Or he
Okay.
was great from the beginning.
Um, yeah, I just, like I said, I liked what I did.
Right, right.
And I wasn't trying to impress anybody, like, oh, well, I did that then, but look what I can do now. I don't really care about impressing other keyboard players. I mean, there's so many amazing keyboard players out there. It would be ridiculous to think that I was going to impress one of them or uh, certainly be better. I'm not the player that most of those guys are anyway. So I had no thoughts like like I said, I was very content with what I played at the time, and I thought stay true to the song.
Yeah. And of course, I didn't mean to sound disrespectful. I was making a
Oh
joke,
no, no, I
but
understand.
my your answer highlighted something that I find it extremely important. How you respect the work that has been done, even if it's some decades ago. So to me, it speaks volumes about your artistic confidence and you know what you're doing basically.
Well, I think so.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I
Take it
love
from
what
me.
I do. I love what I do, and I don't take those parts lightly. I mean, when I came up with those keyboard parts originally, some of them we did live in the studio at the time. And I just kind of like the little solo in Too Drunk to Live. I that just happened off the cuff. I didn't think about it. I was doing some B3 stuff, and that space came, and I just played. And Ingve said he came in and heard it, and he was like, "Oh man," he says, "that's so cool that you did that there." He goes, "I never heard that you do that before." So. But that was just like a spur of the moment thing. Other things I had to work out, like
Mhm.
the Akrina Kuri, that's basically Ingve wrote the meat of the song, but I came up with a little keyboard motif that repeats and it changes over that. But that was Ingve and I writing together,
Mm.
um, writing songs together for the record, and he had the meat of the song. He was playing like the verse. And then I said, well, we need an intro. I was thinking intro. So I just came up with that keyboard thing. But that happened pretty quick. I mean, he and I worked well together, and it probably took 20 minutes, and I had that idea because it was, you know, and I just had this idea and it was like, okay. And anybody goes, yeah, that's cool. And then he just jumped right in, so a lot of that stuff happened very fast.
It's amazing to hear you say that these things happen so fast, especially so fast, yes, especially because these songs have stood the test of time and they still sound great even after so many years. And maybe it's my age or maybe it's a nostalgia talking to, but I don't know. Do you think that back then it was, let's say, easier to write good songs and now it has become rather complicated? I don't know.
To some extent, I think you're absolutely right because there's so many bands out there and there's so many songs that have been since No Parole. There's been so many great bands that have come up, new bands, old bands that have created such great music, lots of albums and things. So it's, yeah, back then it was a little easier because you didn't have any pressure of, well, the new Judas Priest records. Oh my gosh, we've got to live up to that or live
Mm.
up to this or whatever. So yeah, in some respects, it was a lot easier back then. We just did what we felt,
So
you know.
maybe the simpler times were easier to make good music. Maybe, I don't know.
Well,
I have no idea.
yeah, it was. I don't know about, simpler to make good music. We can make good music now, but it was. If they're just, yeah, it was probably simpler would be a good term, I suppose, because, like I said, we didn't have the pressures
Mm.
of, because back then, I mean, the bands were, it was very cut and dry. There was Journey, AC/DC, et cetera, et cetera. We weren't like any of them, so we didn't have to worry about it.
Mm.
Nowadays, there's bands, so many bands out there that sound like, another band that sounds like another band. So it's pretty deep. So making a record today, if we thought about that, it would be daunting to think about, like, oh my gosh, we got to sound like this. Well, no, we don't want to sound like that because so and so sound, and we don't. We just write. And today we don't really give it much thought. We just write songs.
Maybe
So
that's the key. The mindset. Don't worry about being compared. Just write
yes,
whatever feels right, and there you go.
yes.
That's about it.
Because I have done that before. I've been in situations where you chase your tail, basically,
Mm.
and it never works because I've produced some bands that you've never heard of, and these guys are like trying to sound like another band,
Mm.
Led Zeppelin or Judas Priest or whoever, and they're just obsessed with sounding like that band, or the latest song by that band, I'm trying to explain to them what you guys are doing was out a year ago because they wrote it over a year ago. It
Mm.
came out, it's been in the system for almost a year. You guys have absorbed it. Now you're excited about it. If you write something like that, that's old news,
Right.
and somebody's going to go, what are they doing? They're trying to, redo a Judas Priest song. I mean, make it sound or write something similar or whatever. So, yeah, that doesn't, yeah, that's bad. You should never do that. In Ingve, it's funny. I remember an interview that we were doing some interviews. We were on the tour bus, and the person was asking us questions about writing and stuff. And Ingve said, which I thought was brilliant. Ingve said, "Oh, they said, what's your advice to young guitar players?"
Okay.
And and Ingve said, "Be yourself. Don't try to copy anybody. Don't try to copy me. Don't try to copy anybody. Draw from influences, that's fine, but be true to yourself in your in songwriting and your playing." And I thought that was, and I've used that to talk to people, and that's true. You're always better off whatever comes out of you.
Mm.
And a lot of guys, I've seen guitar players over the years that I've known end up get into it to be like a heavy metal guy. And then we kind of lose touch. And then I get back in touch with them maybe 5 years later, and they're playing country. And I say, well, why are you doing that now? What happened? And they go, because this is really what I do the best. I finally realized that's what I do
There
the
you go.
best.
Mm.
And that's what's in me. Heavy metal is just not my thing. So they woke up to it, you know, and they're really good at modern country. They're great at it. So yeah, it's better just to be true to yourself. Writing, and it's like when we write, like I said, we can't worry about what other bands are doing.
Yeah,
It's a waste of
you raise
time.
a great point. However, looking at the younger bands, because we have this peer pressure created by the social media,
Yeah,
right? You can
yeah,
see how many views that new band got, and we are not doing well, so maybe we should copy. So it's difficult. It's extra
right.
difficult for younger musicians.
Oh, yeah.
It's
Because
very
if you haven't been out there and you haven't made a lot of records, you don't think like that. You're impulsive, you're like, yeah, like you said, oh, we got to be like this other band. Oh, we got to be like them. We can't, you know, we got to be like the Foo Fighters' new record or whatever. I mean, and that to me that's the worst thing a band could do.
Yeah, and
A-
it's kind of
a-
sad because you are kind of pushing yourself to be something that you are not.
that's it,
Mm.
really. And they've already done it. So the closer you get to sounding like the Foo Fighters' latest record, the worse it is. Because you're gonna do interviews with guys and you're gonna have to ask them, well, your music sounds a lot like, the new Foo
Yeah,
Fighters. And what are they gonna say? They can't deny it. So it'd be like it gets awkward, and then people aren't gonna respond to it the same because
yeah.
they've got the Foo Fighters already, or they've got Judas Priest. They don't want to, they got that. Wanted something new or something different, So yeah, it's bad news.
Speaking of new stuff, the prior conviction starts with Transylvanian Requiem, a short instrumental. Was it all Joe, or did you guys work together? Because you have yours nice ambient keyboards in the background.
Yeah, now that was Joe. Joe had that piece of music before that. Sorry, my phone's ringing. I gotta shut that off. Um, Joe had that piece of music sometime before that,
Okay.
and had wanted to do it, but there was on the last record before this, we just didn't have room.
Mm.
It just didn't make sense. So we decided to do it on this one. And I didn't want to. I did the ambient kind of thing because I felt it's a guitar instrumental.
Mhm.
Don't make it a guitar instrumental with lots of keyboards. That didn't make sense to me. So yeah, but I love Joe's sense of melody and uh, I call him his snake charmer scales. Uh, all the stuff that where he draws from the scales and musical background that he draws from, which is great. So
Well, for this one, correct me if I'm wrong, there is an almost Eastern atmosphere or flair.
yeah,
And I don't know if that's the snake sound that you're talking about.
yeah, he weaves in and out of that.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, yeah, because he's from New York and he's very New York and
Mhm.
he teaches at Berkeley, but yet his influences are more European.
Yeah, it sounds like it. Yeah.
Yeah, he's much more of a European. If you didn't know the guy and you just heard some of his playing, you'd say, "Oh, he must be from Europe." Because
I agree.
most guys in the United States don't play like that. I mean, there's shredders here, but they play. It's no offense to them because there's some amazing guitar players here. I have some friends that are crazy good and they can shred, but they sound American.
Mm.
I don't know how else to put it. Whereas Joe doesn't sound like that. Joe sounds like he comes from another country in a good
And
way.
yes, and stand and wait your turn is the new song. Is this indicative of what this lineup will do for the next Alcatrazz album?
Not necessarily. There'll be some stuff that'll be a little similar to that, maybe. But that was something that Giles wrote,
Okay.
and we kind of jumped in and wrote some parts. But basically, that was a song that Giles had written some months before that, and we wanted a new song to put on prior convictions. So we wanted one new track is all we needed, and that was sitting there, and so we just kind of finished it with him, and yeah. But
So
the new stuff will be a little bit of everything. It'll be some stuff will be in that vein, um, and some of it'll be like our past records. There'll be some no parole influence in there. There'll be some more straight ahead stuff, simpler stuff. We're writing a lot. We're probably going to have 20 songs, here very soon, and we're cutting guitars here at my house next
Okay.
week.
This is where I was leading with that question. I was thinking whether this song was part of your songwriting process for the next Alcatraz or whether you wrote it, and I think you answered that, for this particular release.
Yeah, we wrote it for this. Well, Giles wrote it for this
Okay.
record for Prior Convictions. Yes. And like I said, there's similarity in a few of the things we're doing now, but they're different. I mean,
So are you actively working on new material?
yes.
Perfect.
Yeah, we've been writing, and like I said, we have demos, and then Joe's coming here on the 23rd,
Hmm.
and we'll work for about a week and cut guitars on all of those. He's fast, so we don't mess around. We don't like overthink things.
Hmm.
Joe gets a feel for something, and we just go with it. If it feels good, we just record it, move on. And he'll do solos here and stuff because I mean, here at my house, my studio, I've got four Marshall heads and Marshall cabinets, and that's what I play. I'm going to B3, so I play organ through the Marshalls. So it looks like a Marshall music store here. So Joe will bring some of his stuff from Boston, and I've got two of Joe's Marshall heads here that we had on tour that I ended up bringing them back here, and I was going to return them to Joe, but then as it turned out, we need them, so he'll get his sound here, no problem.
Honestly, I would love to be a fly on the wall and watch you. No, I'm serious because this is where the magic happens, right? Even if it sounds work to me as a listener, it sounds very interesting. And how those two artistic brains come together to create music. I would love to watch that.
We have fun. Uh, I won't work with people anymore that I can't have fun with. It's not, and Joe and we get along so well. We have so much fun on the road. And, uh, and so I'm really looking forward. Giles will be here. Um, he's going to be in LA a couple of days before. He flies from Germany to LA, and he's going to be there for the heavy metal induction thing.
Mm-hmm.
Not himself. He's there as a visitor. Um, but then he comes to Chicago, so he's going to be here. We're going to be doing some vocals, and Joe will do the bulk of the guitars. There'll probably be a few things that we won't finish, maybe that he'll do at home. But basically, and like I said, we move fast. When we don't try to move fast, it doesn't take us long. Joe will start like these new songs, and he hasn't heard them yet. So he'll hear what I put down, and he'll just he just instinctively hears something and he knows what to do, and it just goes there. And we hear it and I go, that's great. Let's record it. And he goes, yeah. And bam. And he may pick up a different Strat or something or a different guitar, but yeah, I mean, I would say he'll cut a song in 20 minutes. He'll
Yeah,
cut
what
the basic rhythm tracks in 20 minutes, half
what
an
you
hour.
are describing is chemistry in the lineup,
Yeah. Yeah,
right?
we've been working together for, I don't know how many years now. And I've known Giles for 10 years. So we're all on the same page. You know, there's no surprises that way. It's
Yeah,
all fun, and it makes it nice, relaxed atmosphere creatively. You don't have to think, you're not worried about somebody looking over your shoulder, or you can just we have fun,
yes.
and nobody's there to say, well, I don't know about that. Everybody's like very receptive of everybody's ideas and stuff. So it goes pretty quick, really, once we're in the same room together.
So I have a kind of a difficult question, maybe. So
Okay.
there is often a debate, right, in a metal scene, rock scene, who has the right, I'm using air quotes, to perform certain songs, uh, who owns the material, who has the, I don't know if that's a valid term, who, basically the question is, who has the right to perform certain songs?
Anybody, you could do it. You can record Island in the Sun.
Hmm.
You can record Beatles songs. as long as you pay the publishing. It's all about the publishing. So, like if when we re-record the Alcatrazz stuff, um, Graham's credit is there and Ingve's credit for writing, and they get their publishing. Nowadays, publishing doesn't amount to much. It's not like it used to be in the old days, but um, that's really all you need to do is just so that the writers get their share. Because we're not using anybody else's performance of the song. We've
Right.
re-recorded the songs, so we can do that.
What
Um,
about playing those songs live? Anybody can
yeah,
do that. It's the
yeah, and
same.
that doesn't involve any paperwork. I mean, you can play anybody can play anything they want live, and it doesn't infringe on anybody else's rights or anything. Graham can play it. Graham does play,
Hmm.
some songs live. So, and we do them, and that's fine. It doesn't matter. Anybody can do them.
So may I ask, there was a recent statement from the band, right? Responding in some of Graham's statements. Can you share how the decision was made to release that? I mean, and what was the intent? What did you guys want to do with this?
With what?
With a
With
statement, responding to what he has said in
oh,
interviews.
the most recent stuff, and to be totally honest with you, I'm not on Facebook, and I don't go to the sites to Blabbermouth. I never go to Blabbermouth. No offense. I just don't, I'm busy. And what I find is if I get caught up in that stuff, it takes space in my brain.
Oh yes.
And I'm not a multitasker. I get like if I'm working on a song today, which I will be, that's it for me today. I'll work on that song till I get parts that I'm happy with and then move on. So for me to get involved in that stuff, it's easier for Giles to write a response to some of the stuff Graham says. I don't really pay any attention to what Graham says because it doesn't mean anything to me. I mean, he says horrible stuff about me. Well, knock yourself out. I do what I do. I am who I am. I do what I do. And if somebody wants to say bad things, then they can say bad things or good things, whatever. Um, yeah, and I think Giles felt he wanted to respond to some of it because some people they don't tell the truth. And any response I have done, and I've only done one, I tell the truth.
Yeah.
And that's all I've ever done is tell the truth. Because I don't hate Graham. I don't hate anybody. I don't have any hatred in me for people. Um, I try to look at the bigger picture, which is it's a big business. There's a lot of people doing this. And to get into a hatred thing over people leave bands and these people go on and do it and this guy doesn't, and that it's just to me it's a waste of time and energy to get into this hatred thing and trying to talk shit to
Yes.
people because it doesn't do any good. And like I've said to other people, they say, "Oh, did you hear what Graham said?" And I go, "I don't know, I didn't pay any attention." And they go, "You should say something." And I go, "Well, what's the
What's the
point?
point? Yes.
It means nothing to me." And like I said, if I would tell the truth, I only tell the truth. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to make up stuff. And if somebody else chooses to do that, that's their business. I've
And you
got
know what?
other things to worry about.
In the end of the day, everybody has his own truth. You can never and you shouldn't try to convince anyone. You know what's right for you. Anyhow,
Yeah.
I like what you said about not getting into that stuff because you fill your brain with bad material. And
Yeah.
nowadays in the internet, oh my goodness, it's there
Yeah.
is a lot
It's
of bad
it's
material.
it's insane. And people think that's written in stone. They see a statement by somebody and they go, oh my gosh, it's on Blabbermouth. Well, no offense to Blabbermouth or any source, it comes and goes because
Mhm.
it's just not big news. It's
Yeah.
just Alcatrazz, no offense to Alcatrazz, but that's small news compared to a lot of bands that are much bigger than Alcatrazz. Something happens in a much bigger band. I won't mention any names, but a much bigger band. well, that's gonna stick. That people are gonna go, whoa, really? Wow, I can't believe that happened, or he said that, or it means something. Alcatrazz is small potatoes. We have our audience and our fans, and we do what we do. And Graham does what he does, and I hope he's successful at what he does. I don't wish
Yeah.
him any bad at all. I hope the Graham Bonnet Band does well. It's good, and he should. He's a great singer, and so, but yeah, I can't get caught up in it. I guess.
No, no, no. And personally, what upsets me is when people who they don't know Graham, they don't know Jimmy, they don't know Giles, choose to
Right.
take sides. I mean,
Yeah.
how ridiculous is that? You know what I will do? I will enjoy the music from all these guys.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's at the end of the day, that's what matters.
And that is. And if you like something that somebody did, you like it. That's all. You
There you
you,
go.
you enjoy
There you
it. You're not taking anybody's side. You're just saying, hey, I like that song, or I like what they did, or whatever. Or I didn't like it. And again, that's not taking sides or trying to do anything evil. That's just, it's not for me. I don't really care for that.
Yeah.
It's no big
Although
deal.
nowadays most people will go online and say, "Oh, what these guys are writing? I don't like this or I don't like that."
Yeah.
It never ends. It never
Yeah.
ends.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
So Alcatrazz have been around for 40 years, right? From the day No Parole came out. How much do you feel the band has changed, or how much do you feel has have changed as a musician?
Um, Wow. There's some stuff has changed drastically,
Mm-hmm.
and some stuff is still the same. And like players are players, and writing is writing, songs are songs. So a good song, it's still got, if you're making music today, it's just like it was then. The songs have to be good.
Yes.
You're not going to, you can't stand on just players alone. I mean, there's instrumental records.
Mm-hmm.
Joe makes instrumental records, and that's for a certain audience, and that works great. But his songs are good. Those instrumental songs are good. So it's still, even though he's shredding his ass off, and that's for those guys to absorb, the songs are still good. His melodies and arrangements are still good. And that's one thing that hasn't changed at all, is that, in my opinion. As we tour and I see what people are asking of us, they go, "Oh, I love it. Are you going to play this song or that song?" It's about the song. They
Right.
don't say, or is Joe going to do this, or are you going to play this keyboard part? Never. It's always about the song. And so it was like that with No Parole. When we were writing for that, uh, we put a lot of pressure on ourselves, and our manager and a record company was was there because we really put all that together at the record company had a facility, a rehearsal facility,
Hmm.
beautiful, and a studio where we did the album. So the record company was there all the time.
Really? Hmm.
Yeah, and they weren't monitoring us. They hung out because they loved the band. So the president of the label and the owner of the label and the promotion guys were the offices were next door to the studio. So those guys would just come over and hang out sometimes. So if we hadn't been writing good songs, it would have we would have heard about it. They would have said,
Right.
yeah. Even if they didn't say it to us directly, somebody would have said, uh, so and so at the label is not really knocked out by those songs that you guys been writing, or that one or this one. And they were very supportive and excited about it. They'd hear a song after we recorded it and they go, oh, they loved it. So that told me that we were on the right track. But again, back then, we kind of didn't think, Ingve, me, Graham, we didn't think about, well, is this going to be a good song or not? We just wrote what was in us.
Yes.
Ingve that guy is just like, it just comes out of him, and then I would add whatever I could add, or Island in the Sun. I had written that before for the band New England. And we were at rehearsal one day and just like, well, let's play ideas. We're all on stage at rehearsal, and I played it, and Graham went, "Wow, that's cool. I like that." So it just kind of evolved. and then Ingve started playing it immediately. So stuff like that just came about quickly.
Right.
And
Is
we
New
didn't.
England still active?
No, not really.
Okay.
I mean, we all talk all the time, but
Mm.
we haven't done anything in a while, and I don't. We won't tour anymore, do any shows anymore. I don't think. And not because of any, we all love each other, so there's no problem there. It's just the physical thing of people living.
Yeah.
Gary lives in Florida, and John lives in South Carolina, and I'm in Chicago, and the drummer's in Boston, and everybody's got their own lives.
Of
I,
course.
I'm the one that I'm still touring, and uh, and I'm busy. I mean, with Warlord and Alcatrazz, I'm busy.
And A through Z too? Maybe.
Not right now.
Okay.
We're not doing anything right now. That record came out and did pretty well. So I'm not sure what's the future holds for that. I don't know. I mean, Mark Zonder and I are in Warlord together, so I'm talking to Mark all the time, but it's about Warlord right now.
Of course.
So, and we're going to tour here in March and stuff. And so I don't know what's happening with A to Z.
So Warlord will be playing in Hell's Heroes in the pre-party. Are you gonna be adding more dates around that date for in the US?
Yes, that there'll be a couple of weeks of shows.
Ooh.
That'll be our first show in at that, and then we'll go from there. So Alcatrazz did the States, a year or so ago, and Warlord will do a lot of those same dates.
Hmm.
And then we're playing up in Canada. We're doing Vancouver, uh, but we'll do a few different cities with Warlord that we did with Alcatrazz. And then we'll do the West Coast run, which will be Portland, Seattle, uh, San Francisco, LA, maybe San Diego. I'm not sure. The dates seem to change.
Yeah.
The closer we get, it'll start to get really nailed down. But
So when should we expect Warlord in Chicago though?
I'm sorry.
When should we expect Warlord in Chicago?
Um, I'm not sure. The one itinerary I saw a few months ago, Chicago was on the itinerary, was on it, but
Perfect.
I haven't seen, and that could change,
Okay.
unfortunately. I hope we're playing Chicago because my family's never heard, they've heard Alcatrazz because Alcatrazz has played here,
Yeah.
and they've come to the show and stuff, and my wife has been to several Alcatrazz shows. So, but they're all going, so where's Warlord? We want to hear Warlord live, you
Yeah,
know?
man. Come on.
Yeah. So, I don't know. I wish I knew because I've got my friends here in Chicago asking me the same thing. They go, are you guys playing? Do you know yet? Do you know? And I don't know.
Um,
Um,
Last question, and it's about Warlord also. The Lost Archangel, I remember Mark saying that it emptied the vaults of Warlord. So, do you know if there is any possibility for another release from Warlord, or this is done?
oh no, we're working on another record right now.
Ooh,
Yeah,
interesting.
there's another record in the works right now. We're pretty far along, actually. Um, and there might be there was a song left from Bill
Hmm.
that we did do, and it's not finished yet. So it'll possibly be on the new record. I'm not sure. We'll have to see because we get a lot of material, and we'll see how it shapes up. But
So
yeah,
the rest of the stuff is the stuff that the current lineup has written, right? It's
I'm
not
sorry.
based on a past work from Bill. This is what I'm trying to get.
Right. I mean, the lineup's exactly the same, and we all loved what Bill wrote. That the first album that we did. Um, I mean, I loved what he wrote, and keyboard wise, I played Bill's keyboard parts as close to what he played as possible. I mean, I went to extremes to get because he, like a lot of people, Bill played. he had a particular feel that he played.
Yeah.
He wasn't, in a lot of cases, he wasn't playing to a click or a drum. He was just playing.
Mhm.
So I copped that as, I mean, I had his stuff in my session and I played along with him and tried to, because I could feel it. If I played it my way, it didn't feel right. Even though maybe I'm playing it, more in time or whatever, Bill had this feel. So I really worked hard at at honoring Bill's uh, playing in that because he was an excellent keyboard player because he came up with these really interesting parts, great parts. And again, it wasn't about flash playing. He played really cool stuff. So I don't have that to draw from on this record. It's, but I still think Bill, when I'm writing and playing on this new stuff, I think, what would Bill do?
So it's basically your Greek DNA doing the work, the connection with
Well,
Bill, right?
it's funny, and I've had people ask me that in Greece. They said, "Well, because you're Greek, do you feel a connection with Bill?" And I never met Bill. I didn't know the guy, so I can't say that I do feel a connection with him, but I get where his scales and stuff.
Yeah.
I'm into world music. I've done world music projects, so I understand where that music comes from in Greece. I don't understand Greek music perfectly, but I get a lot of it and I understand it and I see where he's coming from, where he was coming from melodically and some of the chord changes things. So even though it's not a direct connection with him per se, I didn't know the guy, but yeah, I guess because I grew up Greek hearing that in the house,
There you go. Yeah.
just kind of like Bill did. Yeah, it's similar. Yeah.
Yeah. The kind of music that comes from the soul. It doesn't
It,
need to
it,
be in
it
time
really,
or,
yes, it really does. It's got nothing to do with what's on the radio or
yes.
commercial or anything. Bill played melodies and things that had nothing to do with that. It was all just him feeling it and playing what he felt, which is why I had fun doing that record because I knew that. I could tell that the guy he wasn't trying to impress anybody with his playing or sounds or and Zonder was a great resource for me as a keyboard player because Mark would say, well, yeah, when Bill and I wrote that one, we were just at rehearsal, just fooling around, and Bill was just playing. And so I know for a fact that Bill didn't overthink it,
Right.
you know, and that's what I loved about it. It was Mark telling me, yeah, we did that one. He goes, oh yeah. He goes, we were just fooling around jamming one day, and Bill came up with that, and he started playing it, and I started. It was really organic and not overthought, and I like that.
Yeah,
And
it's to my mind, it's the way good music is written when you don't have to think about it and just
yeah,
play whatever feels great to you.
yeah, and I do that now when I'm playing keyboards on the Alcatrazz stuff. I try not to overthink it. Sometimes I'll put down the first thing that comes to mind, and I'll develop it and get it to work. And then I have the luxury I can go away and listen to it tomorrow.
Right.
And sometimes I'll go, no, that's crap. What was I thinking? But other times I'll play something and I'm not sure, and I'll hear it the next day and go, whoa, I got it.
Yeah.
That's it.
You planted the seed.
Yeah, I get lucky sometimes. That's what I call it.
Well, yeah, luck has something to do, but it's all about what you have as an artist. Jimmy, thank you very much for your time. Have great shows, have great sessions, recording sessions, and see you in Hell's Heroes, and hopefully in Chicago with Warlord. I will keep you keep
Yeah,
tabs on you for that.
keep in touch with me and
Absolutely,
email me, whatever, and I'll let you know. Uh,
absolutely appreciate it.
I'll shoot you an email back and let you know. I should be finding that out in the next couple of weeks or
Awesome.
month at the most. But these days, things do happen more last minute than they used to.
Yeah, yeah,
Used
yeah,
to be it was booked a year in advance, and I'd say, "Yeah, we're playing Chicago on the 22nd," But nowadays things are fluid. They move around. The Alcatraz dates that did that in the United States. They moved venue. We weren't selling enough tickets in one place So because they were booking some 3,000 seater,
Mm.
and they moved it to a smaller venue. Um, Warlord, I don't know. We've never played the States, so this will be new for us. In Europe, it's we played there a lot, and in Greece, obviously, and
Well,
it all goes well, and the sales are really good. The States is weird. Uh,
yeah, there is some weirdness there, and with all the places being so far,
yeah.
there is no high concentration of metalheads, let's say, in all places. But hey,
Yeah.
we have to honor Warlord's music in the States too. So let's plan on that. If
Well,
everything
I'll,
how
I'll look
goes well.
forward to meeting you in person then at a Warlord
Absolutely.
show. Uh,
Absolutely.
are you coming to Hell's Heroes in
Yes,
Texas? Oh, cool. Then I'll see you there.
absolutely.
I'll meet you there. Please come say hello.
I will do my best, man. Thank you very
Okay.
much for your time. Have a great
Oh,
rest of your day.
anytime. Anytime. I love to talk.
Thank you.
Great. Thank you.